So we team, we're going to go through some patch notes together. Some patch notes, alright? That's what we're going to do here. So, get yourselves prepared, lads and lasses. Get yourselves prepared. Let's do some patch notes, alright, lads? Some patch notes. Alright, hold on. Hold the phone, lads. Hold the phone. Because this is some pretty big info. Not going to lie to you. Not going to lie to you. Alright, alright. Let's load up the good old browser scene. Browser scene? Browser scene? Browser scene? Browser scene. There we go, there we go. Alright. Season 7 update. Alright. Spring is here at last. We're kicking off the season with update to preview on crossplay. So as far as I'm aware, that's for the console gamers to be able to play with PC gamers and stuff. So if you've ever had a friend that, hey, I can't play with that silly Billy because he only plays on the console, well, now you'll be able to. And if you've ever wanted to test yourself out on how good you are at the console against PC guys, well, now is absolutely a chance. So kind of cool, kind of cool. I think in general, when I've played games previously, such as I think Diablo 4, which honestly was a mare, whenever you played crossplay with, it lagged a lot. So I hope that they've not got those issues. So let's see. New spring tournaments event for the spring tournament awards. Okay, that's kind of cool. I like that monument. I'm a big fan of making my profile look pretty. I am. It's a new coat of arms here. Not bad, not bad. Login rewards as well. Ranked season rewards. Peasant helm. We'll call that the Des helm. The good old bronze helm here. Hey, the team ones are better. What the fudge? Like, look at the bronze helm here. The bronze helm here actually looks pretty legit. Why are they better? What the hell? The team ones are significantly cooler. But you don't get the monument from the team ones? What is this, by the way? Some dude going on the knees? That's quite explicit. That's quite explicit. But I do like this banner. And honestly, kind of cool, kind of cool. Yeah, it's too much. I can't show that on Twitch, actually. All right. Let's see. 1v1 ranked map pool. Let's see. Dry Arabia, Cliffside, Rocky River. Oh, brought Rocky River back. That's good. Forts, garbage, gorge, good. High View. Interesting. Danube River. Interesting. I mean, I'm glad Lipany's back. Four Lakes. I guess the maps that I have... I'm glad that Rocky River's back, but what's some of the maps that they've got rid of that are actually quite good? Very interesting. So, Waterholes, Migration. I don't know what Migration is, actually. But yeah, the team map rank pool, very different as well. Still have I don't like Prairie. I'm glad I don't have to play Prairie ever. Oh, that's a... Oh. But I'm glad Lipany's back. I'm glad Rocky River's back. Those are really nice maps, in my opinion. There's still a few maps that I'm like... Like, there's actually some maps... In fact, Cliffside... What's the coastal one called? Is it just coastal? There's some maps right now in the tournament that I think are really fun. So I think Holy Island's always a good map and makes for good games. And that smaller one, I think it's like Coastal Cliff. Yeah, Coastal Cliff is actually very fun as well. I like those. Holy Island would be amazing because that's legitimately... That's what Boulder Bay wants to be. Except it's just not in any way. Boulder Bay is horrible. If the the devs do get round to it and start adding things like Holy Island, oh my god, that'd be amazing. Even if it's for like team games as well, I think Holy Island, like you have this huge patch of land and water combat where it's like, yeah, I think that would be amazing. But yeah, those are some of the maps that I think would be really, really, really very much appreciated. Build Spotlight, crossplay is now available. Team Ranked is now available on console. Oh, it wasn't available on console before? Condensed victory objectives. Oh, okay, I mean, that's interesting. What's this? These are enabled by default. Okay, I think that's kind of nice, making the UI a little bit cleaner, a little bit easier. We'll see, we'll see. Quick match updates. The Nomad game mode was added. That's cool. So you can actually just quick match Nomad. That's fun. A new free-for-all option has been added, allowing you to queue for 8-player free-for-all matches. Quick match, free-for-all matches. The Dominion win condition. Is Dominion the one where it's like 5 minutes, everybody dies? Or like, not everybody, but you know what I mean? Is that the one? If so, that's fun. No, it's not. Protect the King? Screw that one. I want that 5 minutes, everyone dies. That's the great one. A note on leaderboards and hidden elo. So, wait, free for all will have a new leaderboard and track your hidden elo separately. This means that matchmaking will result in more balanced games over time. In FA mode, the winner is only the player to gain elo, and all other players lose elo based on an even split equal to the amount of elo that the winner gains. Wow. Additionally, Nomad mode will share a leaderboard with standard mode. This means that when you queue for Nomad for the first time, you'll be more likely to be matched with players close to your skill level. Okay. Nomad improvements. Starting villages increased from 3 to 5. Villages starting distance increased. Holy Roman Empire, Zushi, Mongolsha are granted upon town centre construction, not the start of the match. Well, that's nice. English villager bows and Chinese villager speed bonus are deactivated at the start of the game. Wait, Chinese villager... build speed. I was like, I don't remember Chinese villagers moving faster. Alright, build speed bonus. Reactivated upon... that's nice. So, like, you don't get these frickin' English dudes just sniping all your vills early on. That's nice, that's nice. Jeanne d'Arc civilization starts with 3 villagers plus Jeanne d'Arc. Wait, why does Jeanne d'Arc only start with 4 villagers? Because when she's a villager, she doesn't buff anything, does she? That feels like Jeanne d'Arc's significantly worse. Because, I mean, in normal games... in normal games, you start with 6. Well, 5, not including Jeanne. 6 including Jeanne. Okay. You guys are reasonable. So she'll get XP from building the starting TC as well, and builds a bit faster. New Dominion. Okay, so this is the King one. And killing the Monarch grants you 50 maximum pop. I think this game mode is pretty fun, actually. It does incentivize getting kills to get a bigger army. If a player is eliminated by landmark victory, their monarch remains on the field. Eliminating a neutral monarch continues to grant... Aha, so somebody can hide that. You can hide your freaking monarchs. Even if you get eliminated. But... so you can actually just die from losing your landmarks. You don't have to lose the... Okay, that's cool. Reveal the location of enemy monarchs and ping them on the minimap. I like treason. That sounds fun. Alright, quality of life improvements. When I read these, I was very happy. Walls under construction can now be converted into gates via an ability on the placed blueprint. So you know when you're making a wall, and you want to make a gate, and you kind of have to wait for the villagers to start making the wall there before you can put the gate there? Now you can just make the blueprint, which I think is really good. I think that's actually just a nice, simple one that just makes sense and does feel good. The cost of conversion difference between the cost of the wall and the gate. Alright. When ungarrisoning from a building, units will exit the building from the location closest to the rally point direction. Oh. 2024. 2024. We're coming alive. We're coming alive. Finally, these rally points will mean something, team. They'll mean something. This will be quite lovely, actually. So, like, if you want to pop out on in a certain angle, rather than right into sudden doom, you'll be able to do it. Got a tickle in my throat. AI. I'm not really interested in AI. If you want to go through some of the AI changes, feel free. Okay. I think some of these changes were interesting, actually. Some of these changes made me quite happy. Not necessarily for myself. Just when you hear people... So the first one, automatically. Shorefish can no longer be permanently removed when placing a structure on them, and will automatically return when the building is deleted or destroyed. I think that's a really good change. The amount of people that I hear or see that are like, hey man, why don't you delete the fish? I had some fricker do that to me, and it owned me. I'm like, yeah, you're not allowed to do that in tournaments, man. Now, the fact that they'll come back means if you want to delete those fish with a dock or a structure, at least you have to pay for it, which is good. Fix an issue where villagers seeking shelter will sometimes fail to choose the nearest available outpost for shelter. That's a good one as well. When unloading units from garrison, close to their destination. It's now easier to target a live animal with a villager when the animal overlaps a construction plant. That's great. So those deer that sometimes you want to kill around your TC, but you literally can't click on them. Fixing a point where mulks could... fixing any exploit's good. Lightweight beams would not reduce construction times to some civs. I didn't even know that was a thing. Previously, if a siege unit lost side of a building it was attacking, it would go idle. Now it will move closer to regain vision and resume its attack. That's a great change. Smarter AI is better AI. The fact that you could tell a unit to attack, and it'd be like it just sits there, it just doesn't make sense, you know. Fix a bug where deer would get stuck together after colliding. That just sounds funny. Landmarks no longer retain their garrison arrows after being destroyed and repaired. Garrison arrows? Oh. Didn't know that. Now, if a siege tower or ram containing units passes over a stamped building, it will not cancel the building. When a player is defeated, their unit will now fully cease their current actions when they turn neutral. Okay. Yeah, this was funny in... this was funny in FFAs. Like, you'd kill a guy, they'd leave, and their units are attacking you, and you'd have to, like, individually click on them all. Very annoying. This one actually was very nice to read. Monk's order to capture a sacred site will now remain until it's captured before executing queued commands. So this, like, you can literally queue it to a site, then queue it to pick up a relic if you want, and then go back. Or, like, pick up a relic, go on the site, then go back, then go... That's actually really insane. Very interesting. The main thing I thought of for this was, like, you click it to capture a site, and then it starts healing a unit and chasing it off the site. That's annoying. Which maybe this fixes. Oh my god, my throat. Fix a bug where villagers would go idle instead of return to work when their previous job was gathering from board. Oh my god, dude, they fixed it. It took 2 years. It took 2 years, but my villagers, when they gather that ball, lads and lasses, they are going back to work now without having to click on them every freaking time. Explosive ship kills are now counted as post-game statistics. The post-game statistics now correctly reflect units lost when transport ship sinks. Units inside a ram or siege tower units inside a ram or siege tower. Wait, units inside a ram. Wait, you can put... So, can you put a ram or a siege tower inside a transport ship? Is that what it's saying? Will now die if the ship is destroyed. I think it... Okay, I mean, I'm not fully unsure I understand the wording of this one, but fix a crash that could occur in a Jiffy cheat. Fix a crash. Apologies about the coughing, team. I've got like a proper little tickle in my throat. Fix an issue with forts where the wrong size map was used in games. Base overlap with enemies and allies. I mean, that's just funny to me, but I'm glad they fixed it. Black Forest. They're still fixing Black Forest. Fixing I don't really know migration. Okay. This just sounds nice. Party host leaves, the new host would not be able to invite new players. Nice. Fix an issue. No. Add functionality for players to block that communication and see who they have blocked. Ah, that's nice. I remember one time. Oh my god, what's happening? I'm dying. I remember one time I was on Wallalow, Red Bull Wallalow, and me and Casper were going to do custom games, and we couldn't do custom games because, you know, I couldn't see him and he couldn't see me. Turns out he had me blocked. Which I was like, what? Why'd you block me? It was funny, but like now you can see who you have blocked, so that's nice. Player stats can now be viewed on the quick match screen. Well, that's kind of cool. Fixed an issue that prevented players from scrolling the game's list page under certain. Okay, Byzantine selection card pattern is no longer missing. Fix an issue where using shift clicking on idle working villager buttons would not select all idle villager. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. Balance bug fixes. RAM health. Ooh. Wow, they went back on these RAM changes, huh? By the looks of it. RAM health increased by 30. RAM build time decreased. RAM train time. Oh, but in the workshop. Ah! Reduced the train time as well. Mangle and Nesta B's health reduced by 10. Springald damage versus siege boosted by 5. I wonder if they felt rams were like too ineffective. Interesting. I guess rams have gone through some very different changes recently, eh? Like they were like giga buff when they got to age 4 because you know you can make them from workshops and get the beams just to make them stronger. Then they turned pretty bad, and then I don't know where they are at the moment. I think they're still decent, but I quite like this change, like Springald's becoming a bit better against Siege again, and them losing a little bit of health. Because I guess this will go to somebody will have to do the math, but 10 less health and 5 more damage. Can they two-shot them again? I don't know. Bombard, Great Bombard, and Cannon ranged armor increased from 35 to 40. Oh, they buffed the armor on those though to kind of compensate. So the Springalds are just better against these units, not but about the same against these. Two-shot again. All right, I like that. I didn't like. Yeah, I like that. So Springald technically now, because if they don't change the attack speed of Springalds, Springalds are better than they were before against Mangonel and Nesta Bees because they fire faster now. So this is overall a Mangonel Nesta Bee nerf. Which is good, I think. No, they should be faster, Sassy, if they keep the attack. So the attack speed, remember, it got buffed. Which, unless we read something that's been nerfed again, but it doesn't look like it is. So if they go to two-shotting, but they attack faster, this is big. Let's see. Previously, some garrisonable buildings unit transport displayed each garrison weapon as individual weapon. Oh, I don't even know what that means. Corrected some issues where elite army tactics and incendiaries were not affecting all intended units. Well, I like bug fixes. When I read this one, I was a bit sad because I was like, oh, the pagoda. Stone earned from relics and pagoda reduced by 50%. Wood and food has been increased in its place. So pagodas. Before it was kind of like, oh, this magical stone, like it's still like the best way to get stone, but they've kind of put it more in line with Tithe Barns, which still better than Tithe Barns, but a little bit sad. A little bit sad in a way. Correction issue where loading battering rams were missing the... okay. Merchant guilds could be researched twice for French and Jeanne d'Arc. Okay. Alright. Civilization specific changes here. Now this is interesting. Because Abbasid back on the menu, boys and girls? That is a question. Fresh foodstuff moved from town centre to the mill. This means no longer will you have to sacrifice a villager to get it. Pretty big deal. Pretty big deal. It definitely means that most of your builds should incorporate a mill now. And when I say should, I think every Abbasid build will incorporate a mill now. Which slows down some of the things you want to do. Like, if you're doing a fast 2TC build, and you don't want the mill, and you're just getting sheep and, then move on. But overall, I think it's a good change to not discourage you from like, do I want that? I need that, but then it costs me a villi. It's just a nice thing. Camel Archer a bit cheaper. Fertile Crescent Wood discount increased from 25 to 30%. So that's the economy buildings a bit cheaper on wood specifically. Spice Road upgrade now correctly modifies gold income for all traders. Okay, cool. So overall, little buffs. Is it going to put Abbasid back? Way too early for me to even think about it. Like, these changes are... I think this one's just a good one overall. This one's decent as well. Camel Archers are very expensive. This is okay as well. I still think with civs like Jeanne d'Arc in the game, Abbasid has a rough time. A really rough time. It's like I look at this and I'm still like, why would I want to pick Abbasid instead of Iabid right now? Like getting 8 workers when I hit age 3, and I'm gonna hit age 3. As opposed to Abbasid, it's like, do I even survive until any of this comes into true effect? You know what I mean? So, we'll see. Maybe, because I do miss playing Abbasid, because it's been kind of bad. I'm not entirely sure what they need. I'm not sure this is exactly it. I just feel that Abbasid, they take a long time to get going, because it's like their golden age, which is good. It's like you need to make 10 buildings to have that active, so it might come online like 5 minutes into a game. Whereas you have Byzantine, for example, that's just like, boom, I start off with the golden age with my first building. Like there's just some stuff that doesn't quite make me think Abbasid is super up to date. But we'll see. More changes. Ibid. Tara Sultan no longer has ram melee vulnerability. So does that mean that units in general deal less damage to it? Like, not the sieging so much? Build time reduced from 200 to 140. That's quite a big build time reduction. Garrison units increase movement speed for each unit garrisoned. I'm very interested to see how fast this fricker moves, man. Like, I'm going to pop, like, does it hold 16, 20? Does it turn into a freaking race car? Exciting. Atabeg Supervision. So that is the tech where you can put like an Atabeg. It's a very weird word. An Atabeg in a building. So apparently it didn't really mull. You're going to end up with Camel Lancers with actually quite a lot of health, because right now they don't have that much. But this could actually put Camel Lancers very good in Imperial. Correct an issue where Desert Rage's range weapon was not fully benefiting from their Golden Age 5 attack speed bonus. Okay, I mean, I barely got here anyway. But no nerf. Little fairly in current playstyle irrelevant buffs, but could become more relevant. I kind of like this. I kind of like this overall. Iobid did get a buff in this patch, but not to stuff that was already overwhelming. They definitely got buffs in places that it'll be fun to see these things used, because these are unique things to this civ. Like the Atabeg. I can't tell you anybody that really went that Atterbeg wing a lot. Like I've done it a few times when I hit age 4, when I'm like, yeah, I'll buff these buildings, frick it, you know. But I didn't buff my stables. So yeah, interesting. And obviously the Tower of the Sultan was a bit of a meme. All right. Now this is the one that honestly caught my eye a lot. Because how many Biz enjoyers do we have in chat? How many Biz enjoyers did we have? Because I think we have quite a few. I'm also a Biz enjoyer, a big Biz enjoyer. And I would actually go as far to say that I think Biz is very much one of the underrated civs right now. That I think in certain matchups they can actually go toe to toe with some of the best, which is really cool. And not just at like one stage in the game, I mean like multiple stages. And you don't need to be greedy with them either. You can actually like punish a lot of civs and be good with a lot of, you know, it's kind of fun. So like if I think about myself in the tournament, I beat multiple good players playing China with Biz. Some of the games went late game and Biz just felt super good. I beat some civs like Malian as well, which is a very powerful like age 3 civ, and I just stomped them, you know? Like it was insane how strong they already felt. So we'll go through some of these changes. And I played Beastie's Roos yesterday on Dry Arabia, which Roos is equal top 2 banned civ, and Dry Arabia is not a bad Roos map, and I ended up winning with Biz in a late game situation, both age 4. So yeah, I already think Biz is very good. So I was a little bit surprised to see these buffs. I've got to admit, because I already felt like, hold on a minute, this is starting to turn into one of my better civs here. But Kairos Siphon reduced cost by 40 gold. That's actually pretty big. This is definitely something I've been implementing in my play. Not getting a lot of them, just literally one. Because the damage from what... So the damage of the fire, like the burning that it doesn't like multiply. So having 2 Kyra Siphons, it's not double the damage of 1, if that makes sense. Like the primary damage of 1, it's very, very, very solid. So you only need 1. So the fact they've like made it cheaper is great. They've made it healthier, more armor. I mean, this doesn't really come into play for these early pushes. Bonus damage against walls also buff. So the Kyra Siphon just got a lot of buffs. First mercenary contract choice is now free and instant, saving 100 olive oil and 20 seconds of research time. This is actually very big. Very big. I actually think this might be nerfed. I think this might be nerfed, because I don't think this is entirely necessary. And I think that you could very well make this free, but take 20 seconds, and it would still be really freaking good. The fact that it's free, instant, and you don't have to pay for it is actually mental. I think this potentially might be way too broken. Because I mean, you think English longbow rushers are strong? Yeah, this is definitely going to be very powerful. That's a good point. Like maybe actually taking some time as well, because this isn't a research you can go back on, this contract. So misclicking, kind of brutal. Yeah, I almost for myself want this to be a 20-second upgrade. Yeah, I think so. But yeah, we'll see, because this is a massive... Like, these so far are big buffs. Veteran mercenary upgrade costs reduced. And research time reduced to 30 seconds. Wow. So, I mean, these are massive buffs to Byzantine. Like, I think Byzantine was already an A tier civ, but just reading this so far, I'm like, yeah, they're going to yes. Limiting A, shield wall damage reduction reduced from 40 to 30. Alright, alright. First nerf. And I think that's a decent nerf. Limiting A are freaking amazing. They're faster spearmen with an ability. Just amazing units. And they're 10 wood. So managing your economy is quite nice with them. Magellan placement damage reduced from 8 to 7. Alright. I like that too. Correction issue where Mercenary CP and Mercenary Camarades would receive gold from... Aha, so that has a bug apparently. Greek fire projectiles help text now mention that patches of Greek fire can't stack. Alright. Yeah, overall, definitely buffed. Definitely buffed. Late game, made a little bit weaker. A tiny bit with these two nerfs. Early game, massively buffed. And overall, I would say that's definitely... I would say this one here, this one is absolutely going to cause issues. I would. I think the 20 seconds and $100 oil, that's you know, when we've had changes in the past for civs, you've had things like this civ starts with 50 extra stone or, you know, 50 wood, or to say that like something that you're almost guaranteed to get going is now 100 oil cheaper and 20 seconds off it. Like that's yeah, that's massive. That's massive. All right. Chinese. Barbican of the Sun now accepts your tax donations. I think this is also quite a cool one. I think it's quite a cool one. I even think Chinese could maybe have that on most of their landmarks in general, but Barbican of the Sun, aggressive locations for your Barbican, grabbing a boar in the middle of the map or something like that. You're always like, I really want that, but the tax on it is just going to go to waste. Whereas now, no, it's not. So putting your Barbican in a nice, juicy location now, where it's like, there's berries, there's deer, there's a boar, there's all the gold afterwards as well. Bangarang. I think that's actually a really good change. Might also make for a lot more aggressive Barbican play in general, but I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't think that's a bad thing. China hasn't been the best. I think it's actually not bad at all at the moment, but this is something that is just a tiny little bit of help. So I like it overall. Allows them to be a bit more adventurous. Geyser IDs are no longer missing bonus damage versus siege engines. So that's kind of a buff. But I mean, if they were missing it and they should have had it, then... Lightweight beams now is the correct research time in Imperial. Okay, so these are like bug fixes for Delhi, so no real change. Berkshire Palace weapons are no longer duplicated on their UI. Corrected an issue where one garrison arrow was normal instead of incendiary. Okay. That's kind of funny. French keeps are now cost 10% less stone to build. Keep influence range increased by 1 time. Okay, so French is still FD, yeah. Unfortunately. These are not the changes that French needed. Unfortunately. If I really look at this and I'm like, all right, how can this truly help French? Because right now with French, I pretty much am just behind most civs. So the one thing that this helps with is the 10% less stone. I mean, the tile thing is kind of like a quality of life thing, I suppose, but this didn't affect me too much. My main issue is, in my French games, I don't survive for long enough for age 3 to even matter. I'm just already behind. So, one thing that this helps with, if you get a second TC, 350 stone, your stone camp will have 850 stone left over. And then you need an extra 50 stone to get the keep of 900. So now that won't be the case. If you get a second TC, you can get the keep off that single mining node. That's actually quite a big deal. And maybe it will help. But again, I still think that French in general needs something else. Unless I'm totally wrong and it does come into play. I just feel that, like, me playing French against a Jeanne d'Arc, for example, I'm just dead. Like, I never get to age 3. Against Ayabid, I just feel behind. Against Otto, I'm just behind. Against Roos, I'm just behind. You know, I don't know what French need, but this doesn't quite feel it. Could be wrong. I would love to be wrong. All right, Hatery is also a very interesting one, and this is one that I've actually like. I'm a Hatery fan, and I'm not sure how on board I am with this, but yeah. Marching drills is now a civilization bonus, and it's granted for free at the start of the game, and it no longer affects prelates. This is huge. Now, in regular games, it's not as big a deal. Like, it's still nice. Like, you tend to find that Hatery, despite being one of those civs that looks linear, you get pro players that play it in very different ways. If you see my Hatery, there's a lot of 2TC with quite a lot of, like, infantry, both melee infantry and ranged infantry. Whereas, like, you watch a Beastie, it's very much about these fast techs and towers and stuff. Like, it's getting age 4. So, this will definitely be more of a buff to my playstyle. And maybe we'll see it more. But it's also, and this is one thing that I'm not sure about, hybrid maps, when you have these spearman wars, you're going to have spearmen that are 10% faster than your opponent from the start of the game. And you already have a prelate that's boosting your economy behind it all as well. This might genuinely make Hatery way too good on hybrid maps. Because right now, this is one of those things that's like, those spearman wars at the start, there's a lot of finesse to them. Like, oh, your opponent has 7, you have 6, you can't win, really. But now, Hatery, their economy's very big, their reinforcements will come faster. And if they are ahead in numbers, they'll be able to chase you down. So that's going to be very big. One thing that I think might happen, or I hope does happen, because there's some other stuff here. Inspired Warriors now increase the move speed of Prelates, so that's just like from it being on Marching Drills, it's now on Inspired Warriors. Prelate Inspiration range increased by 1 tile. That's kind of nice. Like, these are all nice buffs. Mindwork Palace bonus increased from 40 to 50% cost and research time. So this thing initially, what did it start off with? Like 20% or 30%? It's gone up. In fact, I think it was just cost reduction first. Then added like research time and extra upgrades as well on it. I still think people will go for the Arc and it's just good. But I think one thing for this that will actually make this way more in line with the other civs, just make marching drills auto-complete when you build a blacksmith. I think it being in age 1 is too much. Just like with French, you know, they make the blacksmith, they get +1 weapon or +2 weapon, depending if they're in age 3. I think that would be amazing, because that would also give you a little bit of incentive to get the mine walk. Like, let's say you're in a hybrid situation where you're in a spear fight. Getting that mine walk online really fast means you just got the speed upgrade as well and catch your opponent very off guard. Like, I think that kind of stuff is fun for the game and provides a little bit of intricacy. And it gives you a tiny bit more incentive to get the mine walk. So yeah, I hope that's a change that they look at, because otherwise this could definitely mess with things a bit. Which I don't think is like, it's already a massive buff. It would be a buff as well if I didn't have to research it. So we'll see. This patch is not out yet. No, it's out very soon. Castle the Crow issue corrected where projectiles would be blocked when attacked from certain angles. What? You could attack Castle the Crow from certain angles and it would just not shoot? That's so funny. Alright, I mean, I've never gone this landmark because it's trash compared to the gunsmith, but that's great. Castle the Crow help text now explains that bonus stone is reduced compared to food, gold, and wood. Alright, that's good. Because, you know, I actually went this landmark, and when it was like way less stuff, I was like, what the hell? I was tricked. Now I realise it wasn't shooting properly either. So this is the wheelbarrow upgrade. You know, when you're watching the games of Japan and you don't get to see their economy thing properly, you're like, oh my god, they're missing wheelbarrow. Now it will actually show, so that's great. Jean d'Arc, consecrate help text now updates after researching all. Okay, so these are just fixes basically for Jean and Japan. Mongol. Let's see. This looks like quite a lot. I've. Forgot what they. Let's see. Let's see. Uvu Stone income in Dark Age reduced from 80 to 70. Ah, that's alright. That's alright. I think you got a lot of stone in Dark Age, to be fair. Anything. Yeah, I think that's a fine change. As far as Mongol goes, Mongol feels quite strong to me, but it's very matchup specific. Like you can go Mongol against like a Jeanne d'Arc, and it feels kind of rough in a way, even if you get like a really good tower. But against other civs, it can feel like against Roos, it still feels kind of bad. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Moving buildings rotation rate reduced so that they do not instantly snap when changing direction. Snap? I don't even know. Kaganate Palace. Rus Knights now properly use a poleaxe. Horse Archers now properly use Gallop. Nesavis now receive additional barrels upgrade. Prayer Tents no longer grant vision on pre blah blah blah. Fixed an issue where units could get trapped in a Mongol landmark when its owner was eliminated. That's funny. I remember losing a professional game because of this. Like, I think I lost anyway, but this cemented it. I got like 10 French knights stuck in a landmark. It was brutal. A crash-related Silver Tree landmark has been fixed. Allies of Mongol player can now set the Silver Tree as a trade destination while it's packed up, and traders will only move to it when it's unpacked. Okay, so like most of this stuff is like fixes, I suppose, and this is the only little nerf. So I mean, I think that's totally fine. Actually, I look at that and I'm like, that's fine. Oh, okay. Arkan Chapel. This is Order of the Dragon here. Arkan Chapel bonus increase from 10 to 15%. Not massive, but definitely better. The thing is, Order of the Dragon felt so weird because their Arkan sucked. Like their Arkan was literally a way worse cistern that took 10 times more time to build and 10 times more resources. So when you think about that, and also, you know, you needed 400, 200 for it, as opposed to just 50 stone at the start of the game. Yeah, I think this is definitely a step in the right direction. I still don't know. Minework Palace bonus increased from 40% to 50% cost and research time. So same treatment from the HRE Minework. Now the difference between the HRE Minework and Order Minework, the HRE Minework you get two. Well, both of them get unique upgrades, but in the Order one you get 3. In the HRE one you get 2. The 2 for HRE is +2 armor to Spearmen and Horsemen, melee armor that is. Decent, but it's one of those things where it's like the Arkan's just so much better because Spearmen don't get countered by melee units really, and even if they do, will 2 armor save them against like men at arms? No. But they die to archers, so it doesn't help with that. And horsemen melee armor, it's pretty nice, but if you're getting stabbed by spears, 2 armor doesn't negate like 40 damage, you know. Golden Cuirass cost increase from 50 food to 125 gold to so it'll be 50 food, 100 gold. So this actually got a tiny nerf, Golden Cuirass. So it costs 25 more, or overall, tiny bit more resources, because I think it was like 35.75, which was giga cheap, whereas now it's going to be 50 to 100, which I think is very fair. It was a very cheap upgrade, and it was pretty much the only reason you went Minewalk, or in fact, the only reason you went Minewalk is because Arkan sucked so bad. But Minewalk itself, this upgrade was like pretty much the best upgrade. Pretty much. Zornhau, cost increase. What's Zornhau? Oh, it's this must be like the Lands Connect one. So that's technically 75. So they've just kind of upped the prices a little bit to compensate for this 50% cost and research time, but keeping all the regular upgrades the same to make them a bit cheaper. Kind of makes sense. Bodkin bolts. I mean, actually, I have no idea anybody that got this upgrade. So they've increased the cost on this one as well. This is interesting. This Bodkin bolts, for those that don't know, it added like it's either 10 or 20 extra siege damage to your crossbows. I think it was plus 20. And your crossbows with order, I think they start off with like 16 damage. So it kind of means like you'll kill you'll kill things like springolds really fast. But in terms of like mangonel and stuff, in fact they did hold on. There was a change to mangonel armor, right? Or no, mangonel health. Okay, mangonel health. Like mangonel, so the range armor of bombards, great bombards, and cannon goes up a bit. So it doesn't mean you can then kill bombards and stuff. You can kill maybe mangonel because mangonel get like 30 armor, and you can definitely kill springolds. Corrected guild hand cannon's missing projectile and muzzle effects. Oh, I mean that's actually quite a nice one because hand cannoneers just looked like they were using some freaking invisible plasma shot that was really fast. But yeah, overall, order changes. Buff, nerf? Buff, nerf? I don't know. Bit of both. Maybe an overall tiny boof. It's probably going to be a tiny boof. But very tiny. I still think order are not going to be that good, but I could be wrong. Could be wrong. Ottoman, Great Bombard health reduced from 350 to 300. Good. That's a nerf. Great Bombard range armor increased by 5. So that's to compensate for just the springolds, I guess. I've actually forgot what armor they had regularly. I just know that like hand cannoneers did nothing to them. But yeah, I think that's absolutely fine. Yeah, they're overall nerf because I mean a 50 health drop when you've only got 350. Like what's that? Like a 14% decrease ish. Definitely not bad. Vizier experience requirements for each level increased. So from 60 to 80 to 120. It's now 60 to 100 to 150. So very specifically here, first Vizier point comes online the same. Second one comes online a bit later. So what's your second Vizier point? That's the third military school, most likely. The fourth one, you can either get the military school production speed faster or like the Janissary one usually. Those are the two that you kind of bounce between very often. So those things are nerfed and pretty significantly. Like having to make, because Vizier points come every time you make a unit. You'll get like one Vizier point per unit kind of thing, production-wise. So like this is definitely slowed down quite a bit. And you do get some Vizier points from your age up too. So it's definitely slowed down quite a bit. The maximum though is still the same, which is good. It definitely means you jump from 4 to 5 a lot faster than before, but I mean, it's obviously a nerf. Range armor does affect Springold and Culverin damage, yeah. Military school production speed reduced from 4.5 to 5 times the standard production rate. Alright, so let's just roll with this. Bombard health nerfed. Vizier point nerfed. Military school production rate nerfed. I think they're small nerfs, but pretty good nerfs. I'm glad that they didn't just grab a sledgehammer and just whack them on the head. I'm actually pretty happy about that. And they've kind of gone for many points of nerfs in the game. So the bombard nerf is cool. Vizier point nerf is Small means like the third military school comes online slower. The Janissary attack comes online slower. And military production speed in general is slower, so less units. I think I think in general decent. Because the military school production rate, it's small, but it's might help. Bombard health, I don't think anybody's unhappy about that. Yeah, I think okay nerfs. We'll see how they are. Maybe they're still S tier, but I don't think if you had every civ be S tier, that would be a good game, right? But it's hard to get it all in line. All right, let's see. Ruse. Hunting cabin build time increased from 25 to 35. Okay. I do think some of these changes are kind of funny for Ruse, because... Yeah, hold on. Hunting cabin build time increased from 25 to 35. Any change like this is... It kind of looks fairly small on paper, but it's kind of a decent little deal. Just because... How do Ruse players play right now? You pretty much put, like, your works on sheep, then make a hunting cabin. But having... This means that you will have to speed build your first hunting cabin. But, like, if I go into the super basics, you are any civ against Ruse, you have to make a second scout, meaning that your villager production slows down by 1. That is a huge deal. Huge deal. Because every minute after that first one, your opponent is getting 40 resources extra per minute over you. So the fact that they've gone for a slightly slower second scout for Ruse, or you have to use like 3 workers instead of 2 to boost it out, plus the 40 income from the... It's not 40. It might be like 20, let's say 23 on average. 23 gold on average. But yes. Yeah, I actually don't mind this. I think this is like a small nerf that I think overall I'm pretty okay like reading about. The second change is funny. Boyar's Fortitude cost increase from 100 food to 250 gold. To 50 food extra and 100 gold extra. Pretty significant. This is something I used to play with a lot because I went to a lot of hunting cabins. Very, kind of when I looked at Ruse, this wasn't one of the things that I was like, oh yeah, Boyar's Fortitude. This is, yeah, this is, that was never the thing that made Ruse really strong to me. I think the thing that made Ruse really strong was just their economy. Like, they've, like in I'd say a lot of games for Ruse, Boyar's Fortitude doesn't even come into play. Hunting Cabin nerf will slightly slow down Ruse in every way, like from every game, which I don't think is a bad thing, because their economy Ruse is so good. Like Ruse, they force your opponent to make an extra scout. That's already a big deal. It's a massive deal. Secondly, they don't have to get that mining camp on the gold. They get the age up. They only have to be on their food and wood initially. And Bob's your uncle. You've got a really nice age up. Then you've got a very, very safe... You've got a better Barbican. And when I say a better Barbican, if you think about the Barbican, so I'm very happy with the tax rate drop-off, but the Wooden Fortress provides 20% extra wood income as well, and you can obviously get the Kremlin Gremlins, meaning that you've got a really, really, really safe way of getting your second TC up every time, and you can't really stop that from happening. And then on top of that, you're getting the gold from the bounty, meaning you most likely start off with Wheelbarrow as well. It's really nice. Like, you never had to gather gold for it. And then let's say you get 250 bounty, which you very much more often do than don't. That's a 10% boost to your food gathering and slightly more gold trickle from your hunting cabin. And then you get the Age 3 landmark, nearly always the High Trade House, which, yeah, Roosh just has really good economy. Really good economy. And this doesn't truly slow that down, so I think Roosh should still probably be absolutely S tier or on the menu. Um, overall though, I don't think saying like a Civ is S tier is a bad thing. Like if you get all the civs that are like around SA tier, then that's amazing. Obviously, the closer the better. Having a massive disparity where you've got something like French right now, which is potentially like F, or I think French is legit giga garbo, Whereas something like Ottoman Rus, very good. This for order overall, I'm okay with it. I'm not sure. I think Order needed maybe a tiny bit more, but I'm not sure what, because I still think their eco's too slow. Mongol overall, very tiny nerf, I'd say overall, with the Stone Age, or yeah, Dark Age. But some fixes, which is good. Jeanne d'Arc, it was like, this is just a text help. Japanese was just fixes again. Hatchery definitely benefit from this marching drills thing. I don't think it changes them from like because what would I say? So if you've got like SAB tier, I still think HRE overall will probably be like on that B tier ish, but they might genuinely be very good on hybrid now. And hybrid maps, I mean like Mongolian Heights, those kind of things. Just because of the Dark Age Spearmen having marching drills, that's huge. Let's see. Yeah, French. The one thing with French right now is I die before I really get to play the game. Like if I take a second TC and I make 9th Archer, I still don't think I get to Age 3 against civs like Jeanne d'Arc. I just don't. In fact, against Jeanne d'Arc, I don't even get the second TC, So like French, this was the only thing that we talked about was having one stone, one mining camp will get you a second TC and a keep now, because the keep goes from 900 stone to 810 stone. So that's kind of nice, but still, English, it was a fix. Delhi got some fixes. Barbican in the Sun now accepts your tax donations as well, meaning the more aggressive Barbican. Byzantine, these are pretty big buffs. I'd say Byzantine might go up to... It might be too good with this. Ibids, fixes. Abbasid, tiny boof. Maybe still... Definitely a better buff than what French got for them, but we'll see. Yeah, overall, I think these patch changes are a step in the correct direction. I would love to see some issues with dodging, because I think dodging on the ladder is a big issue. That's something that I think needs to be addressed and fixed, because right now, those long search times are brutal, but especially when it's like you get Dodgy McDodgerson. Oh. But yeah, overall, I like it. I like it, and I'm excited to see where the game keeps on going. And I think they did say that these patch changes in general are not like the only thing, but yeah, we'll see. Alrighty.